Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody had a good weekend, and hopefully, all you guys are ready to, start this new week, finish off the month. Not only just to finish off the month, but also to enjoy your holiday weekend. It's just a reminder we're closed on Thursdays, and it's like a half day on Friday. So, will it be worth to trade on that specific day? Probably not. So, you know, um, we're gonna take it slow. We're gonna see what happens in the market, and um, see what's ahead and see what we can get into. Maybe potentially take some swings until next year. Mm, Maybe day trade here and there. Maybe just like the Monday and Tuesday, and literally just enjoy the rest of the week. Not expecting a whole lot of movement, but again, that can all change whenever we get some type of news. So be expected any of that, any type of catalyst or something like that. Whenever these catalysts come in, we're always experiencing some type of volume, and it gets a little hectic. The volatility can increase like crazy. So, be aware, be mindful of those things, and uh, let's just get ready. So I do have a few things in mind. I have a few tickers here that I just wanted to go over real quick, and maybe where, some of you guys can set these alerts. And again, my style of trading is I literally just set my alerts and tell you where I want to buy at the break up or the break below, or maybe the support, vice versa. And all I do when I receive my alert is I literally just look at my phone, and whatever it is that I'm doing during the day, whether I'm cooking or taking care of the puppy, or out grocery shopping, whatever it may be, whatever you guys are doing. Whenever I get my alert, I simply just take a quick minute to look at where the market is at, whether the sector is doing okay, if it's doing bad, and maybe there's some news or something. And just real quick look at the volume, and the first thing I look at is that ES, and ES is probably the only thing that I will monitor. I don't look at NQ because I'm not trading just the FANG stocks. So the ES to me is everything. And of course, if you're trading metals, you would look at the metals, whatever it is you're trading. But usually that's kind of what I do. I just take a quick minute, look around, and if there is value in buying that dip, then I'll buy it where my alert hit. If there is value in buying the breakout and taking it to the next level, then I'll do that. So it just varies, it just depends. And this is what Sundays are for. Sundays are created for some of you guys to do your homework and just to take a overall perspective look into the market, and not just into the market but into the stock that you're looking at for the next day. I don't just look for Mondays, I look for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But in this case, we already know that we're closed for Thanksgiving. I hope you guys enjoy your families. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. And honestly, if some of you guys don't have a family during Thanksgiving, message me. I'll message you guys back. Whatever I can do to help you guys to uplift you during these holidays, I'll most definitely do something like that for you guys. So, all right. So knowing that, let's just get into this real quick. Here's the ES. We're literally about to open in a few minutes, so I'm not really worried about the open. You already see the bid and ask 35, 37. So we already know we're going to gap down just a little bit. But again, to me, these gap downs really don't mean much. It's what happens at open that tells me everything. And here is my zone that I'm looking for it to hold. Otherwise, below the 3,500, I will be bearish. As long as we hold up top inside, I'm still bullish. So nothing changes until we get there, until we break. I'm not worried. I'm still going to plan the same. My levels will not change just because, you know, we gap down or we gapped up. My levels will not change. It will stay the same. And that is why we set targets. The targets are your second entries, your third entries, your fourth entries, whatever, whatever else that you're planning for. And again, I don't just plan to trade on a specific day on a small time frame just so I can get a quick trade in. I plan so I can get a nice trade for the week, and just a couple setups and looking for trend changes. That's what I like to look for. I like the bigger picture. I like to relax when I'm in a trade, setting alerts, and that's it. Okay, so this is simple. The 3530, 3500, 3460, 34.30, 3400, okay, 3600, 3620, and then 3650, and then the all-time high. So remember that. I hope you guys mark those down. If you guys got to pause it, and then listen to it again. Let's look at Piton. I really like Piton. We actually saw this push up. Some of the guys were able to make a little bit of money on it, so that's pretty cool. So here, just a few things to know on why I draw these zones. Okay, this is your 111, 111, 110.50, whatever you want to choose. Right, and you see all the price action happening here. So here's your 114.50, 114.70. Again, however you want to choose that. The next zone would be the 119 through the 123. Okay, so once I get my alert with the break above this 114.50, the 114, I'll start thinking of taking this long into that next level. Okay, if we cannot hold this as low as 110, I would definitely just start shorting it because the trend technically is still a little down on the short period. There you go, like this, all coming down. Okay. So again, I'm kind of looking for a continuation on Piton. You know, just taking it long over maybe the pre-market. If that's where you want to get your entry, then that's where you would take it long. Otherwise, 114.50, 114, 114.50. I just start taking it long all the way into this next level, the 119, 120, and the high of 123. So that would be your next zone. Otherwise, I have my alerts down here right below 100, and this is where I want to buy it. Okay, so I'm either buying at the breakout or I'm buying it at the support. And Netflix has been, you know, struggling a lot lately. That's what I think some of you would say, and that's kind of like what we see. Okay, but again, if you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture, okay, we're looking at a 5-year weekly chart. You can go back as 100 years. I don't care. We're right here. Okay, we're not 100 years back. Okay, we're right here, and this is all that I really care about right here. So what we have in front of us right here, we're looking at these candle bodies, and you know, some of you might say that there's a lot of rejection up here, and I agree with you. Some of you might say that, you know, the resistance, you know, is the 575. I would disagree. Okay, some of you might say the support is like way down here, 458. I agree, but the support, the major weekly support, okay, we're from 470 to the 480. That is your weekly support. The weekly support, just due to the fact that we have a lot of wicks down here, more wicks and just these candle bodies that barely closing down inside, so giving you a fake out to the bottom. The recent 2 weeks have given you a doji and a nice green candle. The green candle with a low volume, right? This red candle with high volume. So the high volume is telling you that there's still buyers in this specific zone. So that's what you got to look at. And the reason why I have that as a zone, it's all this price action that a lot of people are missing. Okay, and this is something that I like to take note of for the bigger pictures. And this is what, if you got the guide, you would understand what supply and demand is. And right here, it shows you demand. Okay, supply way up here, but this is all your supply, your demand zone, the support zone. The zones are everything in this specific stock because it's Netflix. Netflix is something that, you know, moves on hype, moves on news. I mean, it has some big moves, and if you can catch it, you'll make some decent money on it. So what I like to do is I like to grab the main area where all the price action is happening, where people are literally exchanging shares and people are fighting bulls and bears. This is that fight that I like to sit back and wait till there is a proper direction, because the more you wait, the more you're patient, the more you're able to capture a solid play. A lot of you guys want to, you know, try to trade every single day, but it's not about trading every single day. It's about discipline. It's about having a structure. It's about taking the right trade. And a lot of you guys have this mistake, this you know, this FOMO of wanting to trade every single day when there's no setups. Okay, again, I always ask you guys, what is your rule? What is your discipline? What is your A+ setup that you specifically trade that makes you money every single time? Okay, yes, you may take some losses. Yes, you may cut loss, you know, maybe on 1 or 2 plays, but out of 20, you're hitting like 15 to 18 home runs. So all your profits will be bigger than those few losses that you've taken on that specific setup. You want to ask me what I wait for? I like waiting for direction on the bigger time frames. The bigger time frames give you a more of a reason to hold your position a little longer, which is creating a risk-free trade. The risk-free trade because it makes sense. Everything about it will give you enough room to play with a trade, whether it's calls or puts. It doesn't matter. Okay, if this were to break down, this would automatically tell me that we're coming back all the way down to this like 424.16 area. But until that happens, my alerts are still here watching the price action, and I'm waiting for this pop. Okay, now I like Netflix, so you guys saw that. It's the weekly time frame. Okay, this is clearly showing you the price action right here. I just showed you guys, and now I'm gonna go on the 4-hour and basically explain why and what levels I'm waiting for to break. Okay, here you go. See all these candles all up in here, and then you get these huge spikes for Netflix. These huge spikes. A lot of traders would love to get in those, but they make the mistake of getting way on top and catching just a little bit. While I have my alerts right here at this 494 and 495. People are going to want to try to take profit at like the 500, but I am telling you that I'm going to be entering at the 494, 495. That is when I'm going to take it long, and that is when I'm going to be holding. Most people will take profit at 500. That's your whole number resistance level. I will still be holding as long as this thing keeps pushing up above this 494, 495. That's how simple I keep it. And I will look at the hourly charts. I will look at the 4-hour charts, the 30-minute charts. I will not look at the small time frames because the small time frames have nothing to do with my position holding this trade that makes sense on the breakout, on the trend change. Okay, I hope that makes sense for you guys. We do have some targets. Okay, so just remember, always take profits. Lock it in if you want to be safe over the night, because you know holding over any night or over the weekend is it's a risk. Okay, so remember that. Some of you guys can't even handle a 10-minute trade and you stop out right away. So first profit taking area for me, once we break the 495, 494, here is this 505. Okay, after that I got the 511.50. After that I got the 518, 520. Okay, once we break here though, I will be selling at 520, just like that. But I'm giving you guys these levels in between. Otherwise, I'm not touching it below the 480. Okay, so I'm gonna watch this bad boy just creep up. And then the volume on Friday gave it away that it's most likely gonna be bullish. Okay, all the volume came in, but I'm not gonna get into much detail on that one. You guys can do your own DD on that one. And if you guys watch the videos that me and Bueller just sent out, he did one on Apple that he released for the group, and then I just did one on Baba that you can kind of just compare the both of them. They go hand in hand. Sorry, 3 o'clock my time, PST. Let's just look at the ES real quick, see what happened. Going a small time frame because that's what everybody's looking at. That's what everybody's worried about. The bid earlier was 35.30. It actually jumped, so we actually opened up green. So that's all I care about. It is still bullish. Nothing's changed. Nothing major. You see that little candle building. So again, nothing crazy. We're still holding support. Okay, so PayPal. For PayPal, I'm actually still in this. I'm in the 195. I've had some time, so I'm kind of chilling. So here's your weekly support, your trend. Okay, so I'm waiting for this next candle to build. Okay, so I don't want it to go below 188. So maybe like 190 just to be a little safer. Okay, so basically I just don't want it over under this red candle right here, okay? Here we have like a nice little resistance here, okay? I'm already in it because it showed a lot of strength. That was just a little pullback towards the end of the day. It's Friday, nobody wants to hold it over the weekend. And we're gonna see where this goes, okay? So the break over 195 is take it long. The next take profit, we're gonna do 200 and 205. After that, we're looking at for the 208 and then the 215, okay? So that's what I'm gonna be doing with PayPal. Otherwise, below 190, I would short it. 185 would be your next target. Okay, Baba. So for this one, I think some of you already seen the video that I did on Baba and the volume analysis. But just to give you some levels, 272, okay, 266, 267, 260. I didn't have this one on here, but this is the 276 up top, and then the 283, and then the 290, okay? So once my alerts hit in those specific levels, those are the areas where I will be buying. This is actually still bullish. I would love to get the dip though anywhere down in here. Anything around the 260, 65 levels, I want to buy these dips. AMD, again, just like I said earlier, I like to wait for these trend changes on major timeframes. And once we start hitting over 85 and trading above 85, I'm going to be taking this long. It's that simple. Okay, if you guys want to find those targets intraday, okay, 86 is your first target. Okay, 87, 88, and then just look for 90. Literally look for these tops. But like I said, as soon as we're over 85, that is when I'm going to start taking this thing long. Okay, so the weekly level, 85. That is why. Until then, I'm still day trading this, and if I can swing trade it like during the week, then I'll definitely do that. Otherwise, I'm kind of just chilling and waiting for the 85 trend. Twitter. This was something that I like to keep and stay on my watch list because of the range breakout. Okay, here we have this range. You guys can see, I mean, I don't want to, color the whole zone over here. But as you can see here, we started pressing up against it, against the 44. Ended up taking long over 44. The first target hit of 45, 45.40 around there. Okay, so that is the next actual price action zone. You see that? So 46.50 would be the top of that. So if you want to just take this long, okay, or even buy the dip at 44, it'll make sense, and your stop loss is sort of like 20 cents down below because you don't want it to drop any lower than that. Twitter doesn't move like crazy, so don't expect nothing huge, but the continuation would end up at 46.50. Above 46.50, you'll end up hitting this top one up here. This is your 48, and this low, 48 to 49. So that'll be the next one for Twitter. Here's another range that I've kind of been waiting for. So McDonald's, they have, man, these targets did not hit. I was really hoping for this thing to, hit like during last week, but it never did. Okay, so here we have dividend on 11:30. So that's going to be on Friday. So we'll have a pullback on Friday. Wherever you're at on Friday, you're going to expect that pullback. Usually happens during those dividend days. I guess it just depends on the stock. But anyways, 117.50. Once we start breaking 117.50, I'll start going long. I'll look for the 220, the 221, the 224, and then the 230 and above. So again, the size of the range is the size of the break. That's actually in my guide. So it's actually in a few of the guides that I've made. So, you know, keep in mind, otherwise my alert's going to be at like this 210.85. This is one of Bueller's favorite stocks, so I hope he catches this. And whenever I see this range break, I'm definitely going to make sure that the BB team gets into McDonald's, and I'm going to make sure that Bueller gets into this as well, because this is one of his favorite stocks. But I think he's already in it. Not 100% sure on that. But again, that's just kind of what I'm waiting for, the 217. Yeah, 50 break. Uber is another one that I've been watching. Just kind of watching this one play out. You guys can kind of just see right here. Nice range. So here's your range, 48 and 50. Okay, I don't care about that 0.75. That is not resistance. This is your zone. Once we break above or break below, then we'll be going into the next one. 45 would be your target. Okay, above, make sure you troll it. I can't give you a precise number for that one because it's whole numbers when you're hitting all-time highs. And this thing can either just keep going or come back down, just like this happened here on Friday. We pushed up and then came back down right away. So you should keep your alerts there, okay? 48 and 50 are entry points. Let me just set those alerts now so I don't forget. And it's a smaller stock, so you can buy multiple contracts and make a few bucks on, maybe like on a 0.75 move. So it's not bad. Microsoft. So I think this is kind of easy for you guys to see. We had a drop, base, drop, retest, and drop. We're actually at support. So your 210, use your 210, or once it starts reclaiming this 213.50, if it reclaims 213.50, I would see this coming back up to the stop of 216.50 and then 218. Okay, so no actual setup. The only setup is the 210. If we break 210, we're coming back down 207, 208. And then if we come back down here, I'm definitely going to buy it again. At this around 201, 200 level. Okay, otherwise I'm going to be bullish 213.50 if we reclaim that support, that supply zone. And then expecting this to become a new demand zone, going into December. So, but we'll see. We'll see what the market has for us. JPM, here forming a pattern, as you can see. I shouldn't have to explain this one. Okay, but we are in the resistance of the 119. This 114 has been acting as support lately. So use 114 and 119. Other than that, trade it intraday using pre-market levels and have some fun with JPM. It's a good stock. Nike recently just broke out of its range. I wish I would have seen this one. I didn't. This actually happened on Thursday and Friday. So to make this one fairly quick, you're just going to go over the high of the day, which is the 133.50, and then watch it trend back up all the way to this 136 and 139. So those would be your targets for Nike. Otherwise, wait to buy the dip around 130. Your stop loss is literally like 50 cents down below it. So if your alert hits for 130, buy the dip. Stop loss 50 cents below, 40 cents below. That would be your stop loss. Okay. Here's another setup that I like. Look at this. Here's your demand on the bottom. Here's your supply. Okay. Again, if you guys caught that new guide, you would understand what this is and why I wait for these. Here you go. Okay, here you go. Here's your demand, here's the supply. So I have my alerts down here. Okay, so here's my alerts, 267. That is where I want to buy. Once that stock hits that price level, I will be buying it. So don't miss out. And then here you just kind of see this thing getting a little tighter. There's actually a little pattern there, so I'll let you guys figure that one out. Okay, there's a pattern built right here on just these specific candles, so make sure you grab that. I have my alert at 272.80, 273. That is when I'm going to go long. My take profit is going to be this 280. That's HD. Here's CAT. So again, something that I said earlier, if you guys are doing your homework, you actually have alerts in a few of the sectors. So like, let's just say, for instance, you have alerts on Twitter, then you should be watching Facebook and Snap because they're social media type stocks. Okay, if you're watching HD, you have alerts on CAT. So you're waiting for both of these or one of these to take an entry. Okay, so again, be mindful of what you're trading and actually do homework. So I have my alert at 175 for CAT. Okay, as you can see, it's actually building a pattern here. So if it wants to trade inside in here, then I'm just going to be sitting here patiently waiting. Okay, this is why I have why you set multiple alerts, just so you don't miss it, and you make sure you check it every single day, and you reset your alerts if one of them hits and it doesn't go through, because it can definitely be a fake out. So you guys got to watch out for that. Okay, otherwise I have it at 170, 170, 50, you know, in this bottom area, but you can see it's clear as day what that pattern is forming. BYND, again, one of Bueller's favorite stocks. There's actually a lot of room for recovery, you know, for this specific one. Look at this demand zone right here. Over this 137, I will be bullish. I will start taking profit at this like 160. Okay, now you guys control it, do as you please, trade intraday, trade on the smaller time frames, you know, lock in some gains. But you know, something you can do is maybe go something like this. Okay, we're at 136. And we are at 136. We are in the November 27th week. So 1, 2, 3, you can look at this 18th, right? So you can do something like this if you the account for it, right? So once we break this 137, you can enter the, you know, 140 or 145 contract for December 18th. Okay. Now, once you enter that, you can definitely give it a few weeks. Okay, because you know, BYND doesn't necessarily have to break 137 and stay above. This can actually just chill in here. So if it does chill in there, you'd be sitting on one of your contracts because you have till, what did we just say, December 18th. Okay, so you have time. This is the point. This is the reason why I always say to buy time, because you can sit on a contract for maybe 1 or 2 days and trade it intraday at the same time. So if you have the account, okay, and you see this breakout right here, look, this is a nice one. Okay, use the BB system right here, pushed up, came down, that was your 80% entry. That's when you grab a call and you make some money. So now you're still sitting on the same specific contract for December 18th, and you're building into it. You're building into it, and at the same time, you're not losing much money. Okay, now if it does stay range, the data will kill you, the premium will kill you, but nonetheless, you still made money intraday. Okay, but again, if we start breaking over this 137 and this 138, 139, 140, then your contract's going to be in the money and it's going to be safe. So now you're allowing your money to work for you. You're allowing this contract to work for you because you understand that it still has room for recovery. You are at a demand zone, and it's probably going to take you to the supply zone of this like 160, this 160 area, but start scaling out at like 155, you know, 154, around there. So lots of room for recovery for BYND. I still think it's a great stock. Not what it stands for, but it's still a great stock. So you can trade it that way. Okay, again, if you want to take it long over 140. Go ahead and miss the play. I'll be getting in long around 137. and I'll start taking profit about 147. So a nice $10 move that I'll be taking. But again, if it gaps up and gaps down, whatever the case may be, you can adjust. And then the next buy area is 130 to 124. This is your buy area. ZM, this was requested. I don't recommend trading ZM the rest of the week because it does have earnings and there's probably going to be a lot of hype. There's going to be, tons of volume, tons of IV, and the IV for this one specifically. Here you guys go. Look at this. December 4th, 108. The 27th, 77. So if you guys want to trade that IV, by all means. If you guys want to pay that premium price, look at that. By all means, but try not to lose so much. But again, there's no actual setup on this. I would just trade pre-market levels, honestly, and then trade it like that because it does have earnings. So trade it intraday, maybe get in for like a $5 move. Don't expect this thing to go to the moon or drop all the way to the floor. If it does, cool. But again, you're playing with fire once that IV is super high. So that's not something that I would personally recommend, especially for new traders. Do not get into ZM just because someone made like 1,000%. It doesn't mean that it's going to give you that specifically because it's probably the IV you don't understand and you probably just don't have the account for it. And if you do, that's probably your full account. So again, be careful, while trading something like this, okay? Tesla was actually very good for us when it broke. It was very nice. A lot of people caught this, so congratulations to everybody who caught it over 460. If you got an earlier entry, then that's awesome too. So here we go. Let's look at, I would honestly start looking over 500 to 510. So here's my levels that I have. This 510, 511. This next one is this 530 to 533. Those would be my targets. Other than that, it's going to be whole numbers up top. Okay, if this thing wants to retest, it'll retest all the way, breaking 480 and then to the 460. Okay, I would expect something to start buying at like 467, 466, and then maybe touch the bottom and wick up. So this would be your 80% confirmation type play. You would be buying the dip down here, okay, just for that trend to continue. So don't get scared if you buy this or if I put this on a call out. So that's kind of Tesla. So that's kind of like what I'll be watching during the week. There's nothing else that's going to be too crazy, just due to the fact that we do have a short week. So the short week is actually just going to lead to, maybe a lot of people taking the week off. So you're not going to see huge movement. But again, be mindful of some of the news that may come out and expect some movement. So if you want to catch like a momentum type play, look at the news, early in the morning before the market opens, and choose that stock that's going to have momentum, and then maybe just trade it intraday and then get in and out. So don't expect nothing huge, but again, be ready for both plays. So be fast, be wise, be patient. No need to trade. If you got to take a week off, take a week off. Yeah, the stock market is not going anywhere. It's just closing down on Thursday and the weekend. So that's kind of it. So that's kind of all I got for you guys. I hope you guys, set some alerts on some of these tickers because they most likely will probably have some type of movement. Again, doesn't have to. But other than that, hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy your families, please. And if you guys need somebody to be there for you guys, if you guys don't have a family, message me. I'm more than happy to message you throughout the day. I don't mind if I got to do a session with you. I'll do a session with you, on Thanksgiving night or something, and just kind of hang out and just show some appreciation and some thankfulness that you guys are part of this team, and you guys are learning. You guys putting in some effort into growing. So you guys have fun. And again, if you guys haven't seen my guide out, send me a direct message and give you full details on that. All right, guys, let's have a good week.